He's stealing your jokes.
I don't know I don't know what's going on, but they got a lot of barred content up in that bitch. I'll say that. But that's all right.
So you hate him?
I don't know him, but I know I don't borrow his shit.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
So a while back or so, Theo Von actually accused rapper and comedian Lil Dicky of stealing his jokes. And Lil Dicky was actually on the Flagrant 2 podcast with Andrew Schulz. And he addresses this very situation of Theo Von accusing him of stealing his jokes. So let's go ahead and listen into this.
There was that stuff with Theo Von. He was upset. Like, how do you deal with something like that?
I'm happy that you brought that up. So I have never stolen any jokes whatsoever.
But like, how do you handle that? Like, I don't think
Well, that particular instance, I think to myself, well, I don't understand why he would think that I haven't stolen, to catch, I don't know if you guys are aware of the context of it. And I only recently am aware because I saw a comment that
it was just on the internet. And yeah, I think he was doing like a Barstool show. And you guys both had a similar idea in the show. Right?
Yeah.
Or he had it in something, and then you had it on
a podcast.
He said it on
about
a pod,
the wooden
and then,
shirt thing.
Yeah, it was like a wooden shirt, and then you guys had it in the show.
Now, I remember when we came up with the wooden stuff in the writer's room, and it was totally built on a different idea that was about like a man whose entire house was made of wood down to the clothing. Yeah. And then we ended up not going with that storyline.
Yeah.
Ended up doing one small, really inconsequential scene of my series where a guy was just selling wooden shirts.
Yeah.
I promise you it wasn't, whenever I see content of Theo Von's online as I'm scrolling, I totally think it's funny and I respect it. I've got no animosity. I've just never met him. We have so many mutual friends.
Yeah.
I always was under the understanding that like accusing a comedian of stealing jokes is like a major taboo.
It's
a big deal.
Biggest, yeah.
It's a big deal.
I was like, well, just reach out to me and let's, because I have nothing but respect from what I see of his content online, but I never have stolen any joke. That's really my immediate reaction.
Yeah.
It's not like, I'm not hurt by it. I'm just like, why would he be so insistent that when I never would.
Right. Two people can't have the same idea.
It's a pretty broad idea. Like the idea of wooden clothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm sure I don't know.
See, it's kind of specific to the way you just said it.
But I'm sure that's
men and women are different.
very one-dimensional. But yeah,
have you guys spoken at all?
No.
Why don't you guys just talk? Why not?
Yeah, I would.
Because I think a lot of times what would happen in these situations is, both sides explain their part, and then you go, oh, okay, I see why these two different comedians came to this conclusion, and it wasn't somebody that's trying to bite.
I'm definitely down to. I have no beef with him whatsoever. I don't like when if I post something and I see like stop stealing Theo's jokes. Like it's just I'd never have done that.
Yeah.
And I think there's only one joke in question. It's not like I've made like a career. You know what I mean? I don't even know what other jokes were even questioning.
Yeah, 3 seasons of television.
Right.
One joke.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think like now with the internet, there are so many more people putting things out that the possibility of two people having a similar idea is infinitely higher than back in the day where there would be 10 comedy specials a year.
Yeah.
And you just need to cross over in those 10. Now you have a million pieces of content that are out there in the world, and you're gonna see people with similar ideas. You see it happen with memes, you see it happen with, written pieces, you see all these types of things. So I don't think it like immediately means that one person is stealing from another.
All I know is that my soul feels very pure and clean. Like I
just think you guys are both great, and I would love you guys to both just be like, hey,
set it up. You're friends with everybody. Right?
I will set that up.
Yeah.
I will set that up. For you?
Yeah.
I will set that up.
Let's go.
On the beach and post a
with
ton.
Brad.
Yeah.
Put us in touch with BP.
That feels equivalent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Andrew Schulz reminds me of that kid in high school who was cool with you one-on-one, but would make fun of you and bully you if other people were around. Andrew and his people on his podcast remind me of Malibu's Most Wanted. Not to mention, he has one of the worst haircuts I've ever seen. For real, major Hitler vibes, man. Does he have this look ironically now, or does he think it is a fashion? Seriously, I've been wondering. Schulz would be the most annoying person to share a bag of coke with. You know well he would ruin any chance of a conversation happening, and he would disappear with the bag anytime it was his round. And the constant interrupting of Lil Dicky is infuriating. He's the guest. Shut the F up, Andrew. This is one of the many reasons this guy is a terrible host. And I'm talking about Andrew Schulz, Waluigi himself, because he's a narcissistic man-child who can't shut up when he is in the company of someone vastly more talented than him. This pod is mostly unbearable to watch for the last few months, maybe even longer. Yeah, there's a few gems here and there, but hot damn, these guys need to take a class on active listening and communication. And Jesus Christ, Andrew Schulz is bad at asking questions. Hell, Waluigi is bad at a lot of things. He somehow manages to make every question to another person feel self-absorbed. And I'll bet Andrew Schulz is such a cockblocker too. His wife's boyfriend probably thinks Andrew is annoying too. Schulz is so slimy. You can see it in the small nuance of how he carries himself socially. He's so transparent, the way he tries to subtly push things while acting all kind. He's such a dickhead and a person to stay away from. It's just my read of it. See many guys like him. I just can't stand Andrew Schulz. He's horribly smug. And why is Lil Dicky so awkward? Like he's legit awkward and not a fake persona. Doesn't help when he's getting interrupted every 5 seconds though. Now that I think about it, Flagrant 2, God, I hate this podcast so much. And every time someone I like as a guest comes on, I just wish they didn't do it. Theo should bring Lil Dicky on his show, and no doubt it'd be an amazing episode. I personally think this is a clear example of parallel thinking. If the writers had the intent to rip off Theo Von's joke, they would have slightly changed the premise. But then again, it's also not hard to believe that somebody in the room had heard the wooden shirt joke, maybe didn't remember it, that they had heard it somewhere before, but it was in their brain enough to spark the idea, because that kind of thing happens all the time. I also think it's hard to believe the writers would rip off a comedian so close to Andrew Santino's circle. Also, I think it's impossible that not one person in the writer's room heard Theo Von tell that bit, because he was saying it for like a year straight. And I don't think Lil Dicky actually stole it, but someone in that room 100% likely heard the joke. And Andrew Schulz's laugh is so annoying and fake. The pseudo-intelligence is easily the most frustrating part of Schulz. The dude tries so hard to come across as knowledgeable about everything while seemingly knowing absolutely nothing. Anyhow, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. And hey guys, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button, also push that notification bell if you could. I would really truly appreciate that, so thank you. And I'll see all of you in the next video.